Hello to our esteemed viewers. Welcome to another episode of AI Machine and Marketer Show. And today we dive into a topic that is widely being talked about in the world of AI. That is Agentic AI. And our today's session title is Beyond Prompts, exploring the rise and real impact of Agentic AI. Well, let me be honest. In the last couple of years, when we talk about AI, it has always been about chatbots, co-pilots, and most importantly, better prompting. But with the arrival of agentic AI into conversation, the conversation has actually escalated. Things have changed because we are into a world where AI not only answers the question, but in fact can reason, plan, take action, collaborate with other agents, and most importantly, delivers the real business outcome. In our today's conversation, we will focus on what makes agentic AI more important today, where it is creating a real impact, who are actually being benefited, and most importantly, what businesses should get right before trusting their AI agents. To put some light on it and get the better understanding, please welcome Mr. Arpit Srivastava, Vice President of Growth Marketing and Analytics at Growth Natives, accompanied by two young minds and future leaders, Mr. Vaibhav Kumar, Team Lead Data Scientist at Growth Natives, accompanied by Hitika Saini, Senior Data Analytics at Growth Natives. Well, welcome Arpit. Hello Vaibhav. Hi Hitika. Welcome to a Machine and Marketer Show. So before I start, and I always ask, how are you guys feeling today?
Really good.
Excited.
Great. I think both Vevo and Hitika joined our organization as a fresher and they have grown tremendously. And it's a pleasure to have these two guys together and share the screen. So I think we'll have some great session today.
Definitely, Arpit. So, are you guys ready? Shall we start with our first segment of our chat show? Okay then. And my first question to you, Vaibhav. How would you define agentic AI beyond chatbots, co-pilots, and better prompting?
Okay, so let me keep it simple. What LLM does, LLM predict the next word, while
Right.
agents goes after the next outcomes. Right. So, normal AI does one thing. You give it a prompt, it will give you a response, and this is one round of inference, and it stops there. While agents are different. So in agent, you give it a goal, and it makes a plan, it runs a loop, it reasons, it calls the right tool, function calling, and the right, API calling, databases, and, based on the outcomes that decide the next step.
Okay.
And if something looks wrong to the agent, it fixes itself and retries again. But it, stay inside the limit that we set.
Right. So, Hitika, what's your take on this?
I see Agentic AI like a workflow level intelligence system.
Okay.
For example, if it's a chatbot, it has conversation. A co-pilot assists you, but an agent can take real world actions.
Okay.
Like if I ask about how to analyze customer churn, what an agent will do is it is going to pull actual data, it is going to run some insights, maybe, give all the inferences from it, create a campaign brief, and even route it for approval.
Right.
Yeah.
That's quite of an answer. Arpit, what's your take on this?
I think both of these guys have explained it beautifully. The thing I'll add is the big thing about agentic is that the system should be autonomous. And it is glorified a bit, but I think that's a baseline expectation. So think of agent and draw parallels with our agency work. Right? As an agency, we get some access to our customer data sets. We get their briefs.
Right.
And then we know, like, based on our diagnostics and analysis, we know what are the gaps and what could be our future state, the goal.
Right.
And we know the steps that can be achieved so that we reach that goal.
Right.
Same thing will have to be applied when we are building agents. And that's where I think now you have customer, you have got agency, and you also got agents in the picture.
Different.
And we'll have to work together.
Definitely. Well, that's quite an answer for the start. And that's Hitika. My next question to you that although the people are still wondering why this conversation is literally in a momentum right now. I mean, but my second question to you is what changed recently that makes agentic AI feel more real now? No, and not just a hype I'm talking about.
Actually, what I feel is like the model capabilities have changed. Okay. We now have tool connectivity.
Okay.
And also we are moving towards enterprise readiness. I remember when we started first, the first chatbot that we built was a very small open source model with around 350 million parameters. A normal question answering where a user types a natural language query and it would
Right.
run it on a database without having to run any, SQL queries.
Right.
But today we're talking about, models with trillion scale parameters. We've shifted to Claude, we've shifted to GPT. We talk about memory architectures, feedback loops, and
Right.
so many other things that were not in the picture.
Right.
So I think that's a big change that we've seen in the last few years.
It's like we are growing every single day, every
Exactly.
moment, right? What's your take on this, Vaibhav?
Okay, so I think there is also a mindset change. The first wave of Gen AI taught us a lesson that, co-pilots met a person little faster, better emails,
Right.
quicker code, and, faster email drafts. Or so now the question itself changed. Now, before we ask, how can we make a one person faster? But now we ask, how we redesign the whole process so that system can handle, complex tasks.
Right.
So this is what where real impact is from.
Actually being creative. Right, right. So, Arpit, what's your final verdict on this?
Yeah, I do agree that it now looks real, and I think the first impression I got when I switched from OpenAI ChatGPT to Claude, I could really feel that now we are getting into real agentic world, because my initial thought was that it will remain more like a workflow, it will remain hybrid. But Claude itself is actually built an agentic architecture.
Right.
And while we are doing prototyping, while we're building, while we are researching, it does gives you a lot of clues how it's handling all those complex queries and give you output that even you can't imagine.
Right.
So that's where I do feel the shift has happened. It's happened very fast. And I think if you take a step back also, in last 10, 15 years, a lot has changed in terms of your ability to connect to systems. Like any commercially available platform, be it CRM, be it marketing automation, be it ERP, be it any advertising platforms, every platform has got KPIs. So you have ability to access data, you have ability to take actions. And with the advent of MCP and similar protocols, you have a good way to connect to these systems a lot more fast.
Right.
It's not going to be a 6-month exercise to connect to a ERP system anymore, as long as you have MCP and the connection is in place. So with all those context layer in place, your ability to manage the memory, your ability to call the tools, the agentic thing is now real and has a clear value.
Right. Right. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, this is making quite a big sense to me right now. All thing was just scatter all around. Now I'm getting to know, okay, this is how it's work. So, Vaibhav, like, what are the core building blocks of reliable AI agent system?
Okay, so think like that. Agents are full of a stack, not a single model.
Okay.
So at the bottom there is a model or LLM layer, so which is used for reasoning purpose.
Right.
And on the top of that, there is memory layer, which is to keep all the context, short term as well as the long term memory.
Okay.
And then there is the cable layer, usually RAG, that pulls the grounded data instead of just a guessing. And then there is other layer of function calling, the picking a right to tools and the databases.
Right.
And on the top of all of them, we generally there are guardrails and execution controller. So which decide what the agent can touch and what to not.
Okay.
And also for sensitive related tasks, we keep human in the loop.
Definitely. Human is always there. As I always say, you will need the man to machine, man to run the machine. What's your take on this, Hitika?
Like from a data science perspective, I would also add some evaluation data sets, some test cases, some observability and drift monitoring, to keep a regular track of where the model is drifting away, where we have new data incoming.
Right.
And the most important of all is obviously guardrails for security, especially when we have some personally identifiable information. So we need to mask it before we send it to the LLM.
Right.
And what I feel is that the most important is not just LLM, it is the whole system around the LLM.
Right. You cannot ask that to work in a Solace. You need some cold vigilance on.
Exactly.
Right. What's your take on it, Arpit?
Yeah, I think they covered beautifully again. I think what Vaibhav mentioned, those are like organs, and what Hitika confirmed is more like the immune system. And maybe on top of it, we need like a structure, a skeleton that sort of defines and basically clears the use cases. So if you're actually navigating from being a deterministic system to a probabilistic system, which is the whole AI and agentic system that we're talking about, you have to deal with uncertainty.
Right.
You have to deal with the confidence levels. And in that sense, what it's really required is to really define the tiers of the use cases, which could be if it's high stake, which means that the cost of failure is very high. So you have to design the system in a way that there should be human in the loop, for example.
Right.
And if it's a low stake work and the confidence level is very high, so for example, let's say we leverage AI to enrich contact and company information. And that thing can be, we can undo, redo things there. It's a low stake thing. It can run on its own. We don't need human in the loop for everything. Because think about it, if you're trying to put human in the loop for everything, then you're basically adding another job for the person. And the whole point of being agentic was to get the efficiencies.
Yeah.
So that will get derailed. So we'll have to design the whole system accordingly. Look at things that are high stake. Look at from the lens of what's the cost of failure. Look from the lens of whether if something happens, can we undo it, right? So accordingly, we'll build the systems, and obviously all those organs and immune systems are critical to make that machine run.
Right. Well, that's quite information. That really gives us how agents work in theory. Now let's jump into the real world scenario. Hitika, where is agentic AI delivering real production value today?
So, where I see strong use cases in production is where the tasks are repetitive, but maybe judgment heavy, like customer support, IT and ticketing, software engineering, maybe some procurement and compliance reviews. So, all of these, in my opinion, are not fully autonomous, some science fiction systems, but are real agents which are, delivering workflow level specific tasks.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your take on this, Vaibhav?
Okay, so let's bring to my world, that is a data deep. So I think agents are already earning their places. So it can run data quality checks every morning before anyone logs in. It can do root cause analysis
Right.
when the pipeline fail on reads. So my test is simple. Does it shorten the cycle time? So yes, the the support ticket closed faster, the data incident fixed faster. So yeah, if the clock moves, it is real, and if it looks good in a demo only, then it.
They need to work out. Definitely. Arpit?
I do think that the tangible results that we are seeing across clients, big area where it has made impact is on the client support. Because over there you have like defined tasks, you have defined preferences within which your regular client support rep will refer to, and agents can easily replace and augment those kind of jobs. And there is tangible value in terms of the efficiency, accuracy, as well as the time saved.
Right.
So that's a big theme. Uh, the other thought I have is areas where uh, you're trying to bring in alignment. So, as a leader, one of your job is to bring alignment across different teams, and your time is precious, right?
Right.
So, if agent is actually solving a problem that sort of forces alignment across teams, I think those are really top-notch production grade use cases. So, for example, let's say in our case, we have got SEO team that focuses on bringing organic traffic.
Right.
We have got paid media team that focuses more on performance marketing using marketing spend to drive clicks. And one of the things that is common for them is the end audience, the
Right.
research about it, the keywords that are driving intent.
Definitely.
Right. And in order to bring these two teams together, can we have some level of agentic support that surfaces information that is actually valuable for both the teams, and they utilize and they align? So that could be a great use case where I personally don't need to invest my time just to bring teams together. There's a process and agent in place that is forcing that workflow altogether. So that is what we're trying to build. And then there are similar use cases. So I think in your word of content, launching creatives for 6, 7 platforms and getting a campaign brief just 24 hours back, can we have an agent that really understand everything about the client, about their rant, about their voice, about the feedback that they are historically given, and give you uh, a list of creatives that are compatible across all those platforms.
Right.
And then the workflow really helps you to get the feedback, uh, always like self-improving, those kind of things. So again, bringing in alignment between what client has given of feedback in the past, what you know about the brand, and really solving for all those debates that waste a lot of time.
Right. So, and what Arpit said, what you're doing, that brings me to the next question. Vaibhav, how do you prevent hallucinations when agent take the real world actions or job?
Okay, so let me be honest here because I think this matters the most.
Definitely.
You can't fully remove the hallucination.
Okay.
See, confidence and correctness are two different things.
Right.
So model can be fully wrong, but still, sound fully correct.
Right.
So we never try to build a system, a perfect model. Rather than we build a system and assume that model can be wrong. So, but before taking any real action, we set some rules to an agent like for sensitive data, it can ask from a human. So basically we term as a human in the loop. And also suppose agent has given a outcome or output. So we validate it against the schema and the policies.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's an alignment thing.
and also we can ground it with the retrieval. So
That's work all together. What's your take, Hitika?
Exactly like Vaibhav said, hallucination can, not be eliminated completely. What we can do is try and reduce it as much as we can. So what's in our hands is to trust the workflow, not just raw model outputs.
Right.
I mean, we use retrieval augmented generation to try and ground the responses. We use schema checks, we use audit logging, feedback mechanisms, so that we can, continuously monitor how the model is performing and work on its execution later.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Arpit has much more to say.
I think I mentioned about it. So once you're pivoting from uh, a rule-based or deterministic model to a probabilistic, you'll have to deal with the uncertainty. And there's a whole saying that all models are wrong and some are useful.
Right.
So that kind of alignment we also need to make with the stakeholders, people who use those agents, that there is an uncertainty and there's an acceptance that it can fail, and we have a defined mechanism to deal with it.
Right.
And it should fail gracefully. It should bring right people in the loop wherever required. So that is one aspect, and I think the goal is to be a trustful agent and be accurate. And for that, I think it's okay to have a blended approach, which is a hybrid of some rule-based aspects as well as the model-driven, more autonomous, and collectively you sort of bring in the accuracy level some notches higher. And that's how I think we also approach. And then from there also you can have an agent who can actually really determine, is it a good time to refer to the deterministic approach or agentic approach. And then that's why you bring in the best of the both worlds together,
Right.
and solve the challenge of the accuracy as well as the confidence level as well as the uncertainty.
Right. So, Hitika, my next question to you is, when should a company or any company should use multiple collaborating agent instead of one powerful agent?
Okay. So in my opinion, we should use multiple agents when we have, tasks that are naturally different, but they need to be run in parallel.
Right.
Similar to microservices, where we split responsibilities, to, have more control, to be able to maintain it properly.
Right.
But at the same time, that doesn't mean that we just build multiple agents because they sound fancy, even they're not required, right? So
That's creating more pressure onto it.
exactly.
So, Vaibhav, what did you
I-
say?
Yeah, I totally agree with Hitika. So let me just add a warning here. So I think most of the team, actually over-engineered in this case. So, more agent means more latency and more places to fail, because these are the predictive models,
Right.
right? So, as a Hitika said that don't go for a multi-agent because it sounds advanced. So, if one agent can do job,
Yeah.
as a one, go for multi-agent where works really need it, like parallel task running at the same time, and the independent verification, like one agent validate the output of another's agent.
Right.
Right. So, see, our goal is to build a reliable system, not a bigger architecture like that.
Right. Right. And moreover, I think the goal is to create efficiency.
Yes.
So that's we are working towards. What would you say, Arpit?
Well, if I wear my product management hat, the first thing we'll have to think, at the end of the day, the agentic thing is we're building a kind of product.
Right.
So first of all, you have to keep the end user in mind.
Right.
Which persona we are trying to solve for. Is it, let's say, CMO? Is it a CRO? Is it a CTO? Is it a performance marketer? And what are their jobs? And if you're solving for a specific persona, there could be a list of things that they do that we are trying to solve with our agentic workflow. In those cases, we'll try to consolidate everything, right? Because we don't want to make the system complex, and the person who's actually using it feels that they have to daily travel across multiple agents and systems and review it. So in that sense, that consolidation is important. And The other thought we have here is not necessarily making everything agentic. Build certain solutions and utilities that are still leveraging AI, and have a agentic model that sits on top of it, that has open conversation with your target audiences, your personas, and it surfaces the right tools that solves the real world problems and challenges.
Right.
So that's way we are thinking and we are building.
Definitely. So, Vaibhav, like, according to you, what does a weak or a failed agentic AI implementation usually look like?
So see, the easiest way to identify the weaker one is the chatbot with API access, but wearing a agent label,
Right.
right? And if you look under the hood, nobody owns it.
Sure.
And there is no logs. So whenever the agent fails, you never know why.
Right.
There is no business KPI. So you never know, is it worth running or not? There is no permission model. So agent can touch, which should not. And there is no evaluation framework. So you also never know whether it's getting better or worse.
Right. It's kind of insight. Hitika?
To add on to his point, another failure pattern, what I call is agent washing. Like
Okay.
a normal process automation or a chatbot being called an agent is not right. Okay. So it won't always optimize for, workflow impact or governance, So that's what an agent is, and a big failed implementation will, lack this.
Right. Arpit?
I think one thing that we have to keep in mind is the actual cost as well. So as you move from demo and those staging environment to a real production grade environment where you have multiple users, there's a lot of AI influencing cost. And if that cost is actually overriding the actual value and tangible benefits it is delivering, it will end up more like a engineering project versus a business. So you got to have a good understanding of what's the ROI of my
Right.
AI solution that I'm offering to. And then the second thing would be, again, from the alignment perspective, agent will do its job, but do we have blessing from the higher ups? He's somebody sitting on the top that who's actually forcing everyone to utilize and adopt this new change. If that is not happening, again, it will be a recipe of failure. Why? Because people will try to avoid, they try to derail. There could be a lot of politics. There could be a lot of things where you're not getting enough access. There could be multiple scenarios. So that initial alignment that, look, this is happening, this is a mandate from CEO, everyone has to show up,
Right.
everyone has to adopt, that should come from the top. Otherwise, it will become like a tactical project, which doesn't make sense from business perspective.
Right. Okay. So, Hitika, how will a agentic AI change business model or workflow, or I would say a team structure in the next couple of years?
Okay, so where I see the biggest change coming is workflow redesign. Teams will no longer ask that, how do we add AI to this process? There'll be questions like, if AI can handle the routing, it can do the first level analysis, it can take some actions. How should our processes change? How should our teams work more closely?
Right.
So that's where the change is going to be.
Definitely, yeah. That's one of the answers that need to be thought about. Vaibhav?
Okay, so according to me, I think the team chart changes too.
Right.
Right now, ML engineers and the product manager, risk team, domain expert,
Right.
all are, working in a separate team.
Yeah, definitely. They have the fixed domain to work
Yeah.
for. Right.
But I think AI puts all of them into a same room. So I think after 2 years, there are some new job titles. Definitely like agent product owner, agent reliable engineers, ML data scientist, and the agent risk, exploits. So, and all work together.
Yeah. I think the Vaibhav answer is more for the HR recruiters as well. Yeah. Okay. So be ready for the few of the openings coming in future.
Yeah. Because the problem is agent can touch the data,
Right.
can touch the product, it can touch the risk.
Right.
So all the teams should work
What
together.
get all together under one shape. Right. Yeah. Arpit?
I think from overall business model and pricing model, we do see a change coming in. So if it is a SaaS business, uh, traditionally it is always based on number of seats that you're offering.
Right.
Or if it's an agency, you was basically selling the man hours. I think those models will change and it will be more outcome based.
Right.
Yeah, and then like Wembo mentioned, there would be new roles coming into picture. I do think with all agentic work that is happening, every job will have a relevant agent for it. So
Right.
just like in last 20-25 years, we have MS Office. Everyone uses Word, everyone uses Excel in their respective day-to-day job. We'll have some agents as well for your particular job. So we need people who are able to maintain and sort of get value out of those agents, and that's going to happen very soon. And then the other thing is that in terms of the relationship with client, there are going to be new roles that are very similar to what OpenAI is doing, what they're calling as forward deployed engineers. So you'll have forward deployed engineers, you have forward deployed marketers, campaign managers, and essentially what it really means is that those people are well embedded into the client ecosystem there.
Same one. Right.
Because one of the things which is very important to understand is that these agents need a lot of business context. And that context not necessarily 100% sits on some documents, or if you send a like a form to fill or you get a questionnaire, nobody will give you enough information. It is the responsibility of that forward deployed resource who gets the information from the higher ups,
Right.
and that a lot of that information sits in their brain. So you should have an ability to capture that information, feed it to those systems, such that what you demoed in a perfect world can work well in an imperfect world of client where the data can be messy, the information can be siloed across multiple people and stakeholders and systems.
Well, that's called for our first section. Now let's move to our second round. Rapid fire. Are you guys ready?
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Okay, so let's start with you, Arpit. One word that defines agentic AI. One myth to kill.
Agentic is not a magic word. You need an infra and you need a proper foundation.
One capability that surprises people today.
Doing end-to-end process and outcomes are achieved through agentic solutions.
Okay. What failed faster, strategy or execution?
I think execution.
Okay. But Vaibhav? More dangerous, over automation or under understanding?
So I think under.
Okay. What's harder, making agent act or making them act correctly?
Making them act correct.
One signal accompanies faking AI first.
No data foundation and no business KPI.
Okay. One liner. What kills most agentic AI projects?
I think the right AI system design.
Okay. Hitika. One thing every production agent needs.
Guardrails.
One underrated technical layer.
Memory architecture.
Definitely. One red flag in an agentic AI demo.
That it works only in perfect conditions.
Okay. One sentence. what separates a chatbot from an agent?
A chatbot responds, but an agent takes actions.
Well, that's call for a rapid fire round. So, guys, as we are heading towards the end of our segment, I would like to have one final thought about what we have talked today and what you want to deliver to the world. Let's start with you, Hitika.
So I believe that the winners will not be companies with the flashiest agents. They'll be the ones that build reliable and measurable agentic workflows.
Right. Vaibhav?
So I think agentic AI doesn't mean giving a key to a black box and walking away. So I think we have to build a system or redesign the whole architecture so that the multi-step or the repetitive tasks can handle more efficiently, and also you know humans take care of judgment,
Right.
of agent response, the context, and the calls where actually need a humans.
Right.
So AI will or agent will not replace us. They will just working next to us.
Yeah, that's work in a collective.
Yeah.
Arpit?
I do believe that it's an interesting time and very exciting time for all of us, because it's one of those moments where we can basically do something which was never done, something which was never told. And for me, the whole definitions of bottom performance has changed,
Right.
right? Because it's not the person who can not write code or not can deliver a good content or who cannot run a good campaign. It is a person who cannot unlearn and relearn, who does not have curiosity to really get embedded with
Right.
the whole agentic system in whatever field they are.
Right, right.
So I think that's where I would say that we need people who have that who have that curiosity, who have that hunger to unlearn and relearn, and that's the
Right.
new definition that will be sort of considered.
Right. So, well, as we move toward the conclusion of the chat show, one thing is clear, that agentic AI has taken us much more ahead from just the general prompt. It has brought us to a system that can plan, action, collaborate, and bring out deliverable outcomes. As opportunities are significant, success must fall with better governance, clear data, human insight, and most importantly, better execution. Well, a big thank you to Mr. Arpit Srivastava, Hitika Saini, and Vaibhav for joining us today. And to our esteemed viewers, thank you for being with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and stay ahead in the world of AI. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.